Hey, thanks for tuning in again. This time we're going to be discussing the LETRS, Phonics, and word reading survey that we're going to be using across Duluth Public School District within our elementary resource rooms. Within this training, I will go over kind of what the survey is, why we're using it, who we're going to be assessing, when will you do the assessing, and how will you do the assessing. We'll also watch about a 10.5-minute administration video, and then we'll briefly look at the completed recording form, and then we'll talk about next steps in this process. So the word reading survey is an informal phonics and word reading survey, just like the title of the assessment suggests. There is, aside from the letter identification, letter sound, and the word reading, there's also an optional alphabet writing fluency assessment that you can give. And while this is optional, I really do suggest it, especially for maybe our K-3 students or any student that really is not fluent with their writing yet. It's going to provide you just basic information on how the student is forming letters and how fluently or how quickly they can write the alphabet. It's pretty quick and easy. There is just one form or one survey, one format or one version of it, pardon me. And right now we're just really focusing on using it for screening. In the future, we may use it for progress monitoring, but just stay tuned. I will provide more information as to how we might use it in the future in the days to come. So we're going to be assessing our students because in addition to phonemic awareness skills, we know that accurate and automatic phonics skills are another foundation of being a successful reader. They also impact spelling. It's also going to help us determine gaps and deficits within word recognition skills and how we can best, target instruction for our learners to move them forward. And then again, it's a tool that we can consistently use to collect data on our students and track how they're doing. But but also we have a lot of students that move around. So if a student moves to a new school, previous case manager is going to be able to provide the new case manager with this data, and then new teacher can move forward with instruction. So we will be assessing all K-5 students. I know that if you're using passports exclusively, you might also be administering the placement test. So this might feel redundant, but we do want all K-5 students to be assessed. Again, it provides data that we're all collecting. We can all use it if a student moves, and it does go a little bit further than our passports test. So because it steps into 3-4 syllable words. So please make sure that you do assess all of your students, regardless of whether you're also using the passport placement assessments. And if you don't know what the passport placement assessments are, please reach out to someone on your team or reach out to me. So this again is an individually administered assessment. It should take you about 10 to 15 minutes, kind of depending on how the student does, but maybe less. Again, we're asking that you finish up assessing students by October 6th. That gives you about 4 weeks. And we will be entering the data into a district-held database, just like the past. But the date for which we need you to enter that data and where that data will be housed is yet to be determined. So just stay tuned and I'll provide information as I know more. So to begin administering, you want to start at a spot that you think the student will be successful. So if that's backing all the way up to letter ID, do it. We're going to be recording accuracy as well as automaticity, but not in the same way that we do on the past. And you'll discontinue testing when a student becomes frustrated or makes, quite a few errors. There's no need to keep going if they don't have the syllable, a previous syllable or an easier syllable, consolidated. So it's okay to stop. All right, so when you are administering, the teacher language that you will use follows the header of each section. So please just stick as closely as you can to that language because it does help with the validity of the test. Responses that take longer than 3 seconds, unfortunately, cannot be counted towards a correct response. So you know, as soon as a student stops reading one word, you're going to start timing them on the next one by counting 1001, 1002, etc. If a student doesn't get it after 3 seconds, you're going to ask them to move on, and you're just going to note that they took too long to answer, even if they ended up providing a correct response. Because not only are we looking for accuracy, but we need automaticity, right? Students who read really slowly, they're using a ton of cognitive load, and we need to get students to a point where they are fluently reading the words on the page. All right, so here's some information on coding. Basically, if you have ever coded running records, this is going to be pretty similar. If you're not familiar with how you code running records, I've got it kind of marked out here on this slide. So correct responses can be marked with a check mark above the word, or you can just leave them alone. And again, remember, correct responses, the student has to read it correctly within 3 seconds. If the student sounds out the word prior to reading it, please write a small s after the word, like I did here in this word rot. If the student immediately self-corrects a mistake, it gets counted as correct. And we're just going to write SC, right, after the word to mark that the student self-corrected. If a student provides an incorrect response, you're going to strike out the word and then write their response above it or below it, wherever you can kind of fit it in at. And then if the student takes too long, you're just going to write a TL above the word. You don't need to strike out the word because they did read it correctly. It's just that it took too long. All right, next up, we're just going to watch an administration video. I administered the reading survey to the same student that I did the pass with. And I just took the first about 10.5 minutes because it ended up being like an 18-minute administration, and I don't want to make you guys sit through that long of a video. So just hang tight as I pull that up. Here we go.
I'm going to show you some letters in mixed up order. Tell me the name of each letter as you point to it. Remember, tell me the name, not the sound. So finger here, tell me the name.
M.
Keep going.
S. R. A. L. E. H. B. Q. T. G. F. J. N. Z. Y. W. X. C. K. D. U. X. P. V. I. O.
Okay. All right, let's go down to the next section now. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing. Remember to tell me the name, not the sound.
Okay. O. F. E. D. J. N. K. H. I. C. I. T. W. A. R. V. G. U. S. B. X. M. P. Q. Y. Z.
Okay, are there any that you want to go back to and try again?
Yeah.
Which one?
This one.
Okay, what is that one?
L.
Okay, now we're going to hop down here. All right, I'm going to show you some letters again in mixed up order. When you see the letter or letter team, say the sound that it represents. Do not say the letter name. So for example, if you see the letter N, you say N. Okay, finger ready underneath this letter, say the sound.
Okay. N. T. S. B. W. K. D. R. V. N. J. J. T. Z. E. Q. Q. Sh. Ch. O.
Okay. And you know what? You were moving so fast, I didn't quite hear this one right here. What's that one? And next one? And next one. Excellent. Okay. All right. Now we're going to hop down and we're going to look at some words. Okay. Here are some words for you to read. Point to them as you read them.
see my have to. She also was of anywhere put for our every ounce.
Oh, you know what? I think you skipped a line here, buddy. Let's go back up to right there.
They over what would thus which your every ounce things does right because answer done always much pull heart whole all enough.
All right. Okay, now we're going to come down here, okay? I'm going to show you some more letters. Tell me the short vowel sound each one stands for. So that's the name of the letter. What's the short vowel sound that this letter represents?
E, U, U.
Okay, you know what's happening right now? We're switching over to those Spanish vowel sounds. So we're going to try this a new way, okay? All right, looking at the vowels here, point to the vowel that represents a. Okay. Point to the vowel that represents I. Okay. Point to the vowel that represents Point to the vowel that represents eh. And point to the vowel that represents ah. Okay. Okay. All right, now we're going to look at our vowels again. Okay. Now tell me the long sound for each vowel. And remember that long vowels can be found in the letter's name. So what's the long vowel sound for this first letter?
I.
Okay, what's the long vowel sound for this letter? What's the long vowel sound for this letter?
A.
How about this one?
O.
And this one?
E.
Okay. All right, kiddo. Now we're going to do some reading.
Okay.
Okay.
In Spanish.
This is English. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you some real words and some made-up words. You can read the made-up or nonsense words as if they were parts of real words. Do the best you can. Okay, so finger ready right here. Okay, and remember, you can read it smoothly right away. You can also sound it out first if you need to. Okay, go ahead.
Wrote. Wed. Buzz. Laugh. Hit. Some.
Okay, now these are nonsense words, okay? But we're going to read them like they're real words. Go ahead.
Lum. Nis. Diz. Gum. Jed. John.
Okay, now we're going to give these ones a go.
Rabbit. Infid. Pensive. Napkin. Sudden. Cotton.
All right, we're going to hop down here now, kiddo. Same thing. Read those to me.
When. Prep. Stiff. Grunt. Drop. Truss.
Go down to the next line.
glint, clump, snow, flunk, shred, chick.
Okay, just a second here as I get caught up to you. All right, let's go down to the third row. These are those nonsense words. Go ahead.
Okay. Chunk, rump, spiz, blung, step, cough.
All right, let's go back to this one because I just didn't hear you. What's that second word?
The rump,
Okay, and how about that one?
spiz,
Okay, just a second as I catch up to you. Okay, let's hop down here and try those ones on that bottom row.
skimming, bog drop, use a swing, complex, medist, subject,
Okay, I'm just going to get caught up to you. All right, let's hop down here. Those are real words. Go ahead and read them.
dumb, plate, tune, vote, chime, bell,
Okay, just a second. Thank you for waiting. All right, let's hop down. These are those nonsense words again.
let, press, web, pyre, thrum, bling.
Okay, just a second. Okay, all right, try the next line, kiddo.
Suppose, complete, implode, unmade, pancake,
Say that a little bit louder.
commonly.
All right.
Sorry about that. Did not realize I was on mute. Okay, so you probably noticed that I didn't write out the full incorrect response right away. He was moving so fast that I just kind of marked like where the mistake happened. And then afterwards I went back and finished writing out the complete word. This student is a Spanish immersion student, and he's, confusing some vowel sounds still, which is pretty common for a kid his age. So if I was going to start instruction with him, I'd probably go back and be reviewing short vowels. All right, let's keep moving. So I just real quick wanted to show you what the recording form looks like that I filled out for him. So we'll do that real quick here. Okay. All right. So first up, you're just seeing like how he did with letter ID. He did well. He initially made that mistake with lowercase L. And I knew that he figured he was unsure. And then when we got down to that second line, he came to that letter I. He knew that he had made that mistake, which was why I allowed him to go back and self-correct. He did well with his sounds. Again, some mistakes between hard G and soft G, bringing in a Spanish sound for that letter, consonant letter Y. He did well with his high frequency words. Again, he's having some confusion with vowel sounds, and for a kid who's doing Spanish, again, pretty common, but did well, did pretty good, especially after I, provide a little more scaffolding for him. All right, so here's just a sneak peek at, the word reading that he did. Again, some issues with short vowel sounds, but overall, progressing nicely, especially if he's not, receiving instruction in English yet. All right, let's get back and let's just finish up here. All right, so moving forward. Again, there is a quiz for you to take. It's connected to CEUs. It also shows us that you did this training and that you are ready to begin administering. Please practice administering the reading survey to somebody. Just again, to get familiar with the language that you're using, how you're going to code, and then please begin assessing your students. Just remember that we've got that October 6th deadline that we're trying to get all of our assessing done, and then stay tuned for how we're going to house it and where you'll be entering that data. Please reach out if you have questions. I will be, scheduling office hours, online office hours. You can hop in and ask questions, get clarification as you need. If you want me to come out and model how to administer either the past or the LETRS word reading survey, I'd be very happy to do that. Just let me know what you need. Thank you, everyone.